Here's the plan. I'm holding Bitcoin. I'm continuing to buy Bitcoin. I'm buying blue chip alts that have a limited supply that also can incorporate into Bitcoin because you know why? Governments continue to print money. They need to print money to service their debt. Right now, we're in a state of high interest rates. That cannot last long because with high interest rates, we have to pay back a high interest of our debt. And the United States needs to service its debt. That's why I believe that the Federal Reserve has to lower interest rates in the very near future. And most likely it's going to come in June or July. I'm still thinking June because the CME group is still projecting that, the vast majority. Let's see what the future holds. And you know what? I am going to take profits eventually in some crypto. I've taken a little bit of profits in the past. I hope to take some profits in the future. And what am I going to do with those profits? I'm going to pay off my debt because I don't want to have debt. And I'm going to continue to work for fiat currency to buy more crypto and to invest. And obviously, I'm going to diversify. I own some real estate. I do some other things, right? I try to learn and be educated and try to work hard because what else am I going to do with my life? Just sit around and watch TV? But crypto is a main part of my portfolio because it is the future. AI, blockchain, we're all headed in this direction. The tokenization of assets is the future. Even the CEO of BlackRock has said that. So I'm not too concerned over it, especially now that the United States is backing crypto. We now have a Bitcoin strategic reserve and a digital asset stockpile on the books. The United States Congress has bipartisan support to hopefully pass a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill that is going to allocate a certain amount of money per year to buy more Bitcoin to add to the already existing Bitcoin strategic reserve. It's pretty awesome. This is the most bullish narrative we've ever had. So yeah, here's the thing. If we just would have invested, and honestly, I look at myself and say, Daniel, you should have did this just 10 years ago. I got in crypto 6 years ago and I wasn't buying Bitcoin right away. I was buying like other cryptos just for fun with my coffee money. But if I had just bought Bitcoin from 6 years ago to now, I would have done amazing. And yeah, I'd done okay, like with, selling and buying alts and things like that. But you know what? Bitcoin was a good asset to buy and just to hold. If I would have done that 10 years ago, you would have outbeat Warren Buffett, as Anthony Pompliano has pointed out well. You would have beaten every single hedge fund. You would have beaten everybody. You would have beaten gold. You just would have bought Bitcoin and held for the last 10 years. Look where it's at now in the 90,000s. It's incredible. So yeah, I still am optimistic, not just on Bitcoin, but other blue chip alts like Cardano ADA, which we've now learned is interoperable with Bitcoin. And I do think there's a good chance Cardano could be the DeFi layer of Bitcoin. And that's what I mean, blue chip alts that get incorporated into the Bitcoin ecosystem, because I think a lot of blue chip alts are going to do that. And also blue chip alts are going to have other use cases that are going to be awesome. But Bitcoin is going to be here for a while. So I think these other blockchains need to incorporate and need to basically have interoperability with Bitcoin is what I'm trying to say. I think XRP has a bright future. I think Solana has its issues, but I think it's going to have a future if they can fix some of those issues, because every blockchain has its issues. I'm not even pooping on Solana, but you see what I mean? This is where we're going. So this is why I'm bullish on crypto from a macro view. And yeah, short term, I think we're in a bull market still. And I think we have another leg up because people are starting to wake up to the idea that, you know what? Governments need to have some Bitcoin and need to have some cryptocurrency on their portfolio because they need to figure out a way to service all this debt. And you know what happens every single time they print money? Asset prices like equities and stocks always go up, but you know what goes up the highest? Bitcoin and crypto. And I think blue chip alts that have a limited supply are eventually going to catch up too. And people are going to see the use case of them because it's not only that. It's not just that it's like digital gold. You can actually build programs on top of them. You can build utility on top of them. And it's easily transferable, easier than gold. Gold will always have its place. I'm not even pooping on gold. Gold is a great asset to hold and to diversify into. But you know what else is a good asset to diversify into? Bitcoin and other blue chip alts. Just my humble opinion as a dude on the internet. Obviously, do your own research. Hope you guys have a great one.